Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. Great to have you here. Coming up, I get my first LT Wright knife, and he sent me something extra. We're going to show you that. I'm giving this away thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. It's a Karaman, a small sort of karambit style minimalist from CRKT. That's an all-access giveaway, so it doesn't matter who you are or what your status is here. You can get this tonight. And what's your favorite desk or junk drawer knife? Now, I sent out a newsletter this past week about, well, I guess you would call it my favorite junk drawer knife, even though it doesn't officially live in the junk drawer permanently. It lives sort of in a other junk part of the kitchen where we put our mail and stuff like that. So we'll take a look at that. I got about 5 knives that qualify. They rotate on and off my desk, but this remains constant. So we're going to talk about that. This is, of course, the large Luzon. Marco, how you doing, sir? Great to have you here. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies, he says. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Groundfog, hope you're doing well. Always a pleasure having you here. Carino1, good evening, Jim, Bob, and fellow junkies. I'm with OG Dave. My junk drawer is overflowing with knives, but I'm more inclined to pull out a pair of canary scissors. What are canary scissors? I'm curious. Are those the scissors that come apart? Sword XXXY, good to have you here, sir. G'day, Bob, Jim, and junkies. My desk of junk is a room, my man cave, and my favorite knife is a Peter Lyons sword, amongst others. Ooh, very nice. Now, do you do anything with that sword? What I mean is, like, is that I don't know what a Peter Lyons sword is, so I need to find that out. But is that something that you can do duty with, like go outside and take care of stuff? Anyway, you know what I'm getting at. OG Blade Reviews, good to have you here, Dave. Howdy, Bob, et al. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Happy Thursday Night Knives to you, sir. Happy to answer tonight's question, but please define desk of junk. My junk drawer in my desk must be where all those knives are hiding. Yes. Okay. So I have 2 different I said desk knives. So I have knives coming on and off my desk all the time. James Hart, evening to you, sir. Great to have you here with us. But I have ones that are kind of always hanging out on my desk, like the Kudu, and I pick it up to do random tasks. Same thing with the junk drawer knives. Our junk drawer happens to be in our kitchen. Doug Bowl, nice to have you here, Doug. Hi, Bob, Jim, and Knife Junkies. I got this out tonight, the Forrest Bowie. This was a gift from Doug. I love this thing. It is so big and gnarly. And to me, this is what I imagine the first Bowie knives to look like, just like big, giant kitchen knives. Anyway, Doug, good to have you here, sir. Nick, how you doing? My go-to is a lockback pocket knife my buddy gave me for no reason other than great friendship with wood handles and my initials on it. Oh, cool. He's a good dude. He sounds like a good dude. I have one like that. I was from my best friend growing up's first wedding. He's got my initials on the bolster. Cool little lockback. Jammin' Parker, nice to have you here, Jammin'. Good evening, fellas. Good evening to you, sir. Only thing I can think of for a junk drawer knife is I keep a bunch of Spyderco dragonflies and some Opinels scattered everywhere around the house. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when I say junk drawer. You know, it could be a spiritual junk drawer like that, you know, no actual central location, but it's that knife that hangs around. Like I got some junky knives in the junk drawer too that are there because, you know, just because they don't quite get a place in the collection. Though this is, in the permanent collection. It's just living in the kitchen. Matt Lamana says, well, first of all, hello, Matt. Great to have you here. Happy Thursday Night Knives, Bob. Jimmy Notes and Junkies all. A cobalt folding utility knife. Not terribly exciting. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like I have it's not a cobalt, but it's a knife that I got from that they sell at Home Depot, but it's an old Daryl Ralph design, and it's cheap as hell, but it's really cool. Okay, Adrian Fighter 35, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Hope everyone is good. We are good. Hope you're good too, man. I don't have a desk or my own junk drawer, so I just pile all the knives onto a cheap shelf. Yeah, that'll do. A shelf, a drawer, a for us a little mail thing. Terminator Joe, nice to have you here, Terminator. Good evening, fellow brothers of the blade. And we have some sisters here too. So hello, sisters, as well. Michael Elliott, good to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. My favorite desk drawer knife is the Cold Steel Urban Dart. That is a cool one. That's a cool one. It's got that sort of egg-shaped handle. And that I remember that being oddly expensive when it first came out. Fred Ferbemeyer, nice to have you here, Fred. Hello, everyone, he says. Hello to you, sir. Hope everything's going well. Craig Vincent, nice to have you here, Craig. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junk Migos. I like that, Junk Migos. My favorite junk drawer knives are the Kershaw Oh So Sweet and Buck Trekker. Yeah, these are the kind of knives I figured most of us would have. I remember the Oh So Sweet. Two knives I've owned the longest. I remember Nut and Fancy loved that. Do you remember Oso? Wait, what were they called? There was an online purveyor, Oso something knives. Oso Sweet knives? I don't think so. Never Enough Knives 007. Nice to have you with us here, sir. Hey, junkies. Happy Thursday night knives to all. Never Enough Knives 007 and other gentleman junkies with us. I'll show you shortly what the Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife is for this coming month. I was going to be giving away the 001, the Agent 001 from TKL Knives to honor its second coming. But Tim got it wrong. This is not coming out on October 1st. It's coming out on November 1st. So we'll be giving away a TKL Knives Agent 001, not this one, this is mine, during the November show. Right? No, we'll do it in October. Wait, where are we in? We're coming up on October. Yes, in November. Sorry, I can't believe that I'm already talking about November. But coming up, well, since we're here, I guess I may as well show it off. But Jim, was there another comment that I neglected as I was looking around? Cheeto, how you doing? Cheetos of the Black Hole, good to have you here. Is that you, Cheeto? I can't. No, maybe not. What up, Bob and gang? How you doing, man? Good to see you here. Who is that guitar player? Tell me. He's really enjoying that Cheeto. Trent Costello, evening, y'all. Well, Trent, great to have you here. Got a bunch of big knives up on the desk. Trent is a big knife lover. Lone Star Dowboy, nice to have you here with us. Never Enough Knives 007 says, no junk drawer knife, but rotate through several at the desk. Oh, you got to let us know, man. Don't leave us on tenter hooks here. James Hart says, hello, I am here a tad late, James. It's a pleasure. In my office, I keep 9 knives and an axe. Very nice. I got an axe right here. This is actually a surprisingly awesome axe. I shouldn't say surprisingly, but this is a great axe. It's not as, so what is this? This is an Estwing. That's right. Not as fancy as like some of the battle axe type knives, but axes. But this thing is pretty awesome. Got to say, it's got a nice hammer pawl on the back too. Scott, nice to have you here, Scott. Wonderful to be here. Wonderful to have you. Hope you all are well. My favorite is a 17th century naginata cut down to a wakizashi. Beautiful and built like a tank. That's awesome. So that's your junk drawer knife, huh? That's Scott. I kind of, anything less would not be Scott. Timothy Chadwick, nice to have you here, Timothy. Thursday Night Knives, sweet. Thank you. I'm glad. That's how my brother and I spell stuff when we text back. Do you see this new knife? It's sweet. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and knife aficionados. I like that. We are indeed aficionados. Ken Hack, nice to have you here, Ken. Good evening, folks, he says. Good evening to you, sir. Nice to have you here with us. One of our newest gentleman junkies, he came through the YouTube join feature. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door. He says, hello, Bob, Jim. Pardon me, guys. I just had some awesome carne asadas. Hello, Bob and Jim, and all you awesome junkies. I have a Barlow I've had since I was 10 in the junk drawer. It takes me back every time I open it. How cool is that? Is it all patinaed and dinged up? Sword XXXY says, the sword is a blunt reenactor sword custom made by Peter Lyons. Oh, cool. Of Lord of the Rings fame. I actually have more than one. I used to fight with one for show. How cool is that? I love the Weta Workshop videos from my wife is a serious Lord of the Rings fan, and all during our courtship and first couple of years of our marriage, there was a lot of Lord of the Rings happening, and we watched all the extras, and I watched the Weta Workshop video many times. That's the workshop that put all the weapons and armor together. How cool. Got my Terzuola mug, enjoying some black coffee. Splitting slices. Nice to have you here, Byron. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. My favorite junk drawer knife is the QSP Penguin. That's a good one. Though it doesn't reside in my junk drawer, I kind of use it as one. I use it a lot to open up stuff in this here office. And an old hickory boning knife. That sounds good. I like old hickory knives, especially the 5 or 6 inch clip point. Just looks like an early frontier knife to me. Benedict Odie, speaking of Terzuola mugs, good to have you here, Benedict. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and all, he says. I hope you're doing well, Ben. Carino says, Bob, Canary is a Japanese brand of scissors. Many are coated with bond-free tetrafluoride coating. What the hell is that? They cut like a dream and are absolutely hidden from my wife. That's awesome. That's funny. Okay, Canary scissors. But what is tetrafluoride? It sounds like mind control to me. Bond free. So that means nothing sticks to it, maybe? Is it kind of the scissors version of what is the stuff that the nickel boron coating? James Hart says, okay, 3 Moras, a Scottish skiandoo, an old Japanese made diver's knife. Oh, cool. That I've had since the 80s, a buck 110, a Kershaw lockback, a kukri with a 15-inch blade, and an axe. I love it. I love it. You've got so many bases covered here, from the Moras to the buck 110, the diving knife, if it comes up, boom. And you have an old Kershaw lockback. If it's the one I'm thinking of, that's pretty cool. It was sort of their answer to the 110. Ed, how you doing, Ed? He says, hey, what up, junkies? Oh, man, we're just living the dream here on a Thursday night. Best night of the week. Chris229, nice to have you here, Chris. Evening, everyone, he says. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Terminator Joe says, I have a few. I have a Microtech out the front, along with a Cold Steel Wild West Bowie and a CRKT Ritual. That is cool. That's an Alan Foltz knife. Similar to this it's nothing like this Alan Foltz knife, except for the fact that it has a very extreme sweep and curve to the blade, just like this, which we're giving away. All you have to do is put hashtag knife in the comments or in the chat, and in an hour or so, you stand to win this. Ken Reed, nice to have you here, Ken. Good evening, all. Most used junk drawer knife is the Mora Cansball. Oh, very nice. That's I remember when that came out. That's like a full tang, right? It's a full tang, and it's carbon steel, maybe, the Cansball. Sean Clark, nice to have you here, Sean. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. My favorite weeknight. Okay. Thanks. Mine too, Sean. I love Thursdays. I've always loved Thursdays. Before Thursday Night Knives, it was actually the night that my wife and I would settle in and watch whatever our favorite show was. That has changed. That's now a Saturday or a Friday. It's just not Thursday. But yeah, we used to watch Project Runway way back in the day. Project Runway. It's like Forged in Fire for clothes. Cheeto of the Black Hole says that's a picture of the Adolescents. Okay, I don't know the Adolescents. Sounds like a deep cut punk band or something. John Schaaf, nice to have you here, John. We meet again, Mr. Junkie. Yes, we do indeed. Hello, all. I don't have a desk knife because I'm not important enough, but a knife is always within reach. Why are you not important enough? My desk is a cobalt. It's actually like a work table. Like if I were productive in a more physical kind of way, I would have a vise attached to this table. So a table, table's a desk. For many, for like 30 years, my desk was a door turned on its side. Donald Fry, nice to have you here, Donald. Howdy, everyone. Happy Thursday night knives. My favorite junk drawer knife is a well-used Buck 110. Well, I have, this is not just junk drawer, it could also be desk. And on my desk, I have these beauties here. Let me take off these beauties. Paul Mills, nice to have you here, Paul. He says, Bob DeMarco. Thank you, man. It's good to have you. Well, I don't know. I said thank you. Thank you for saying my name, Paul. It's good to have you here with us, man. So I have these three, which are sort of permanent desk knives right now. Mike, good to have you here, Mike. Well, if you can call some vintage cold steel and SOG knives junk drawers, I'll take it. Hey, man. Yeah, if that's what you have in your junk drawer. Yeah, cold steel would be good to have in there. However, I get really like this is the only cold steel I have separated from the family of cold steel knives in my collection. And I don't know why I feel like I can just have this far away from all the others, but it's doing. I've thought actually in the past of getting another one so it could be in the drawer with all the others, and I thought that's a little ridiculous. But I don't have a 4-inch version, so maybe I do that. Never Enough Knives 007 says, right now I have 6 different vintage slip joints that are in some place in the cleaning and rejuvenation process on the desk. I work on them when I'm on boring meetings. How awesome is that? Yes. Aren't they all? Just kidding. Just kidding in case anyone I work with is watching. I love meetings. Canaries K, good to have you here, Canary. There's no knife in the junk drawer. That's what box cutters are for. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. I do have box cutters. They're in my tool chest, though, with my tools. Not the tool chest with all my knives. Bobby Rains, how you doing, Bobby? I greet thee, my brethren. I like it. Oh, Bobby, I like it. Old school speak. Peterbilt Knife Guy, how you doing, sir? Good evening, everyone. He says, "Good evening to you, man." Two of my favorite YouTubers right there in a row. Clark Henry, favorite junk drawer knife is an heirloom old hickory butcher knife with an old rickety wooden handle. That's how it should be. And you know what you can do is take take some jute cord and wrap it real tight so it's not rickety, and then soak it with. I put shellac on there and then light it on fire. It'll look cool and it'll harden and the whole thing will be nice and stiff. And it'll look like something Quint from Jaws might have on his belt. Ed says J-Cape V4 would have to be it. You keep a J-Cape in your, that's the Something Obscene Company J-Cape. You keep that in your junk drawer, huh? A little too big for me to carry, but I love playing with it. Oh, that could be on your desk. Could be a desk knife. Yeah, that's a beautiful knife. I love the way that knife feels in hand. Gary Balmain, nice to have a face to a name. Welcome, sir. Hi, Bob and crew. This is my first hello. Well, it's great to have you here, man. I've seen you in the. I know that you are a gentleman junkie, so it's nice to see your face and hear your voice virtually. 1931 Leatherworks, how you doing, sir? Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you. He makes awesome leather. With that giveaway we did with the Bowie and the leather sheath. That was his leather sheath and Shane's Bowie knife. By the way, the gentleman who won that, Jeff Hamilton, I keep trying to contact him. Hopefully he's okay. He won that knife and it's still sitting waiting to ship out to him. He never sent me his address, not even when he first joined us as a gentleman junkie. So here's just a word to the wise, a friendly bit of advice. Send me your address when you win immediately, like before we're done with the show. That way I can get it out to you pretty much always the next day. And tonight it's this, the Caraman. Thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Open up your boxes, open up anything with this. Pretty nasty. little device. Will Height, nice to have you. Will Height Works. Evening, all junkies. Good evening to you, sir. Great to have you here with that beautiful Work Tough gear in your hand. Jerry C, nice to have you here, Jerry. Hello, Bob, Jim, and junkies. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. I have a good old Buck 110 folder in the desk that's always got the job done. Yes, sir. It's like this old 112 given to me by my buddy Mike. God, that thing is beautiful. From sometime between 1974 and 1980, when it didn't have a nail nick and was more squared off. This one carried by his dad. May he rest in peace. So very honored to have that one. Mike says, hammer, hammer, hammer. Mike, I'm with you. I do like a hammer. I got a hammer in both doors of my car in case in case I need to hit someone, I guess. Scott says, hey, no, that's my desk blade. My junk drawer blade is a broken Swiss Army knife that my mom and dad brought back from Switzerland in the 70s for me. How cool. Unrepairable and unreplaceable. Yeah, no doubt about the second one. I'm sure you could send it back to them and they'd do something with it, but it wouldn't be the same knife. Ken Hack said, oh, well, wait. That's a philosophical question that my daughter once brought up to me. If you have a ship and you start replacing all the planks one by one and all the screws and everything that keeps it together, after everything is replaced, is it still the same ship? Ken Hack says, my junk drawer knife is a Gerber folder. It's a Tonto blade, half serrated, aluminum handle, frame lock. I've never loved it, but I can't let it go. Is it a paraframe? I think they made a Tonto version of the paraframe. One of the worst modern folders of all time, but I have one that I can't let go either because a friend of my wife's once, years ago, gave it to me for my birthday, knowing that I love knives, and I was touched by that. Paul Bull says, Bob, my junk drawer is actually in my nightstand next to the bed. That's a good place to have it. I have 3 swords on the wall, a St. Michael's 32-inch sword, St. Michael, the mightiest of saints, if I do say so myself, and a 34-inch Crusader sword, finally my 36-inch Scottish sword. I'd love to have a Scottish basket hilt broadsword with the red velvet to keep your hands all warm and cozy as you slay your enemies. I think those things are so cool looking with the full-on basket hilt. So cool. Matt Maurer, nice to have you here, Matt. Bob and everyone, he says, hello to you, sir. 1931 Leatherworks. Bob, did Bob get his concept Orlock yet? What is that? Is that the new flippy one? I'm not tempted by that, but it's cool. I like watching other people like Michael Elliott flip it if I'm thinking of the right knife. Gary Balmain says, my desk drawer knife is an Opinel number 8 classic junk drawer knife, and he says #knife. Why? Because he wants to win this, courtesy of OG Blade Reviews, who has a new logo, or at least new coloring to his logo. Very cool, very cool. OG Blade Reviews, everyone knows he's a badass. Everyone knows that he's got an incredible collection of knives, but what you might not know about him is he's an artist and an incredible photographer and designer. So that's a cool design you got there. Anyway, Dave says, I will offer up as a junk drawer knife any old SOG Auto that needs a good sharpening. It's been used as a chisel, pry bar. I'm sorry, not any old, an old. It's been used as a chisel, a pry bar, a screwdriver. No respect. No respect. None whatsoever. Actually, OG has sent me so many knives in these boxes. You know, I'm always giving away knives from OG Blade Reviews. And in one of those boxes of a long while back now, he sent a Boker Auto that it seems to be missing a washer or something. And that's like verging on junk drawer knife material. But I always think I'm going to fix it up, get a new washer in there, and then I'll give it away or something. But yeah, I think it's just sort of cruising for the junk drawer. James Hart says, I got my Kershaw folder back in '85, I think. It's just labeled Kershaw, Oregon, USA. The other side is stamped 1060, Japan. Does it have gray bolsters and black G10, but still the same setup as the 110? I'd be curious to know. I think I can see in my mind's eye the knife you're talking about. Sean Clark says, last couple of weeks been on eBay buying knives. Got a case cheetah. Those are so cool. Swing guard and a Randall 1.8. My first Randall. Now, I love Randalls. I love Randall Model 1s. And an 8 is just a little bit better than this. I have a 7. It's a 16, but it's got a number 1 blade on it. And it's like special fighter or whatever. It's got a special designation. And it's a 7-inch blade. And I think an 8-inch blade would be that would be the way to go. The bee's knees. So congratulations on your 2 awesome purchases. The case cheetah is also nothing to sneeze at. Very cool knife. Commander Raider Bell, good to have you here, Commander. Good evening, he says. Good evening to you. My desk was my man cave. My desk was my man cave in the garage until my new landlord said it's no longer allowed. New landlord, huh? That does not sound auspicious. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks, man. Getting kicked out of your own man cave. But I can tell there's something new on the horizons for you, Commander. Just hang in there. Joseph S. says, hey, Bob, good to have you here, Joseph S. Jim and Junkies, favorite desk knife is a basic bug out CF Elite, carbon fiber Elite. It can open up the mail and it's light enough to fit in any type of clothing. Yeah. I love my bug out. I haven't carried it in a while, but I do love it. And I keep a snaggletooth MF on it because I used to keep it in my inside pocket of my jacket. And I always thought if I needed to whip it out, like, give me your wallet, and I'd reach in there. Oh, I got a wallet for you, and then I would fight him with my bug out. I'm not saying I was thinking that far ahead. Victor Blades, nice to have you here, Victor. Hey, Bob, Jim, and fellow junksters. Victor, I hope you're doing well on the SI. Split and Slices says, Bob, a great husband for sure, but Project Runway, better than Golden Girls, Designing Women, or Dancing with the Stars, I suppose. Yes, better than all those. Actually, I really liked Project Runway. I was working at a production house at the time. When we started watching Project Runway, I was working at a video production house. I was an editor, and all we did was cover fashion. And it was the same place where I produced shows for the military channel. It was a weird place. It had those two things. But I was around a lot of, lovely ladies and editing a lot of really awesome, videos of fashion shows from London, New York, Paris, and Tokyo. And it was cool in Milan. It was cool. And I got into it, and it was cool to watch the creative process with the designers, the clothing designers. But I'll have you know, they weren't as cool and as nice and as friendly to one another as the knife makers are on Forged in Fire. But back in those days, I was like, they need to make a show like this, but except knives. And then when Forged in Fire came out, I was like convinced for a year that someone heard me say that. But ideas are just in the air, and that's what they tell you when they rip you off. Ideas, they're just in the air. Doug Bowles says, Bob, the 19-inch throwing tomahawk that I broke when practicing, it is repaired with a hickory shaft. Nice. And was sent with the hawk. I obtained a shorter hawk and will send the 19-incher to you. Oh, man, Doug. You spoil me, man. But, I mean, thank you. Doug gave me this beautiful blackthorn move it this way, blackthorn walking stick from Ireland. God provides my strength, and and this little knob provides a bit of strength too. This is such a sweet thing. Love it. Northern Knives, good to have you here, Mike. What's up, Jim, Bob, and Junkies? Running a little late tonight, but glad to finally be here. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Mike, funny you should be here. On my belt this evening, I have the Mac. I take everything that I was carrying and put it on the table for the pocket check, and I have to have a knife on me, so I grabbed the Mac. I love this knife. This is multi-animal knife, the Mac by Three Dog Knife, the in-house brand of Northern Knives up in Anchorage, Alaska. And a beautiful sheath too. Steve, how you doing, sir? Stephen Michael Roberts with us. What's up, Bob and all? It's been a few weeks, hasn't it, sir? We got to change that. No favorite junk drawer knife to speak of, but damn sure you can find about 10 to 20 plastic knife fork sets that my wife hoards. However, I am loving my Civivi Natterjack. That's a good one. I like the Natterjack. And so I know Steve. He's a friend of mine from the neighborhood, and he's started doing something very interesting. He used to be in a knife club, and like some relatively cheap knives would show up in boxes, and he stopped that, and now he's moving to a model where he buys one really fancy knife per quarter, and I think that's a cool way to reward yourself. And then eventually, I'm sure that quarter will turn into a month, and then it'll be every couple of weeks, and then, who knows where it'll go from there. Jay, nice to have you here, Jay Sheehan. I'm a simple man. I need Knife Junkie, and I click. I see Knife Junkie, and I click. I love it, Jay. You're in the right place, man. We're all simple here. Just kidding. Ghost Keeper, we're all very complicated intellects here. Ghost Keeper, nice to have you here, Ghost Keeper. Ordered the Pistache today to complete my Ultim collection at 9. So is this Tri-Stash, the Tri-Stash in Tri-State EDC's knife in Ultim, the Pistache? That's funny. Ultim is kind of a swing and a miss, ultimately, I think. Even though people are still using it here and there, it does look like urine in a toilet bowl. James Hart says, removable green, somewhat rubber-type handle scales. Now, which knife was it? Now I'm trying to remember. You're talking about the Kershaw lockback. Ed says, removable rubber-ish. Okay. Ed says, sorry, the J-Cape is my desk knife. The junk drawer knife would be the Rat 2. Great junk drawer knife. It's just a great knife in general. I have a pink and black one that my daughter got me when she was real little, through my wife, obviously. Karen Slavin, nice to have you here, Karen. Hello, all. Another fine night for talking knives. #knife. And why did Karen put #knife? This is what you stand to win. Randomly in about a half hour, we're going to do that. So #knife, and you could win this Caraman. It also comes with a belt thing that I've actually recently seen attached to someone's strap on their backpack, which is now where I keep my auxiliary manufacturing production pocket Bowie. So it looks kind of dorky, and no, I wouldn't do it if I lived in New York City or something like that, but I don't. We need more people to put #knife in the comments. I'm just looking at the numbers here, and if this is not for you, maybe it's for someone else that you could give it to. Look like a hero, comes with the box and all the literature, etc. But this thing is super awesome. If anyone's ever had a minimalist, which I'm sure we all have in one form or another, you know that it's a great knife. And with that blade, it's easy to use. Angry Tom's Hat Store says, I think Taste Knives should bring back the cheetah. I think the swing guard and I like the swing guard and the shape of the blade. Yeah, it's a clip point, right? Clip point blade. And I like the swing guards too. I used to have a real thing for the Italian swing guard switchblades. Gary says, if a garage wall counts, my Chris knife I got in the Philippines hangs 65 years later. Yes, it does. That is awesome. My brother just sent me 3 pictures. He just got 3 new Chris's at a gun show, and one of them is an old antique German wavy bladed knife, so it's more like a small flamberge. And then he got a tourist piece Chris that's labeled like from someone who was in Operation Enduring Freedom, but he got an Indonesian Chris that is absolutely beautiful, and he only paid $50 for it. I think it's probably worth way more. It's got that sort of real rough looking Damascus steel. It's got about 7 curves to it. Beautiful handle, beautiful intact sheath. Those sheaths with the big dramatic mouths. Ouchie EDC, good to have you here. He says, howdy. Well, howdy to you, sir. Hope your knee's better. Craig Vincent, since my pockets are always so full of knives, everywhere I go becomes my man cave. That is the spirit, Craig. I love it. I love it. My man cave is basically my backpack. Tonight I was like, wait, where is my XL Recon 1 Tonto? And I realized it was in my bag. And then I was like, wait, where is my XL Voyager Vaquero with the serrations and the snaggletooth? And that was also in my backpack. So yeah, me too. It's a movable feast. Alex Kerber, nice to have you here, Alex. Colorists. Not sure what to do with that. What, I have a feeling I said something and you're answering me, but I do that all the time. Jay Demeter, hola, gang. I'm sorry, aloha, gang. Jay, how you doing, sir? In the land of aloha, where I'm sure many of us would like to be. Chase Kimball, nice to have you here, Chase. That's a movie name, Chase. Chase Kimball. Been a minute since I've been able to join. Well, I'm glad you're back. Happy to be back. Been carrying my Brock Blades Double D. I had my Brock Blades Magni XL out here a while. Anyway, I love Ken Brock's knives. I love them. So thin, so firm, so fully packed. Homie Omi, nice to have you here, homie. I'm going desktop fixed blade, made in Japan, Muthos Hamura with black ebony handles. I don't know what it looks like, but I can tell it's beautiful. 6-inch flat grind on one side, convex on the other. That's cool. That is cool. Convex or concave? Now I'm trying to imagine what that would look like if it were convex, like that. So flat and then like that. Very nice, man. That sounds awesome. Yep, just type in #knife, and this is what you stand to win. Let's get a little close up of this since we have that up there. Look at that thing. So that's a black and green. I think that's micarta. And that blade steel, I'm not sure what it is, but Alan Folt's design. He's a really cool guy. I need to try to get back in touch with him. Now, he's someone I chatted up at Blade Show 2 years ago, and he was definitely interested in coming on the show. I had just had Macho on of Macho Blades, and he learned a lot from Alan Foltz, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to come on. And then somehow the trail went cold. So just having this out reminds me I got to rekindle that communication and get him back on. He's a brilliant dude, and he makes awesome knives. But this Karaman could be yours. All you got to do is type #knife. Very cool. And I got to say, aggressively defensive style minimalist knife. And of course, that handle. If you've never held a minimalist, what rock you been living under? No, I'm just kidding. But really, it is very comfortable. And for a 3-finger knife, it is so sure in hand, it's crazy. And then that extra little fob there makes it a 4-finger grip. Good sheath. Doug Bowl says, Bob, a Bowie is never dorky. Bowies make the statement, I'm here. Oh, yeah. No, I agree. If I said dorky about Bowies, I don't know what I was thinking. Because I'm with you, man. Bowie's my favorite kind of knife, actually. Though it's a close second with everything else. Cesario Aton, nice to have you here, Cesario. Hey, Bob, just acquired an old Bowie knife from my friend's garage. How cool. Not sure how old it is, but going to try to restore it. Any advice? It's got to be more than 50 years old. My advice is send me a picture. No, if you would, Cesario, take a couple of pictures of it. Send it to me at TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. And I want to check it out. I'd love to see what it is. And I'll do a little, whatever research I can do on it and tell you what I think. But definitely restoring it, it will be a lot of fun. And it's just so cool that you're able to find a Bowie in your friend's garage and then leave with it. Chase says the Brock Blades is the second fixed blade I've bought because of you, Bob. First was the Ruffian. Oh, Chase, man, that's awesome. Do I have the Ruffian out here? I don't have either. That's cool. So I got to figure out what that Brock Blades looks like. But they're all cool. He does so many beautiful recurves and nice and thin. I love how thin they are and just robust and cool. So if you guys don't follow Brock Blades, on Instagram. Definitely check him out. He's been making knives a long time. I think he was one of the original Usual Suspects, or early in that sort of in that group there. Matt Maurer says, "Why me? Why means what about you? Wait, what? W by means what about you? All good. I don't know what you're saying, Matt. I don't know what that means. YB, I'm sorry, WBY. What is that though? Why? WBY means what about you? Oh God, I am such an idiot. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Sorry. Just being a little thick here, Matt. Okay, thank you. Means what about you? Oh my God. I am thick. Jim put it in the chat, extra large letters with spaces in between. No, Bob, it's WBY. This is how it is with my daughter, too, with my girls trying to tell me what acronyms mean. Anyway, sorry, Matt, I'm a dummy. Lone Star Dowboy, that minimalist, Lone Star, good to have you here. That minimalist has 5CR15 MOV, the analog to 4116. 4116 Kruppstahl from Germany. That's an excellent blade steel for cheap, that is. A lot of the like super inexpensive cold steel fixed blades that I have are out of that, and I like it. Gaston, nice to see you here, sir. Gaston Garcia. He says, "Good evening to you, Bob, and all knife junkies. May your blades be very, very sharp." I assure you, sir, they are indeed. I hope you're doing well, man. Jerry C says, "Almost forgot. I also have in the desk an Effin Grow folder I got for next to nothing. I see just as many folks rag on the brand as I do that support it. It has D2 steel, and it's actually surprised me." So we gave away an Effin Grow fixed blade here that was really a nice knife. My one issue with Effin Grow is that they do a lot of copies, or maybe they're homages, because they don't put Microtech on there, but it's like a direct copy. They do a lot of sort of direct copy knives, but they seem to also have a lot of knives of their own design, and they all seem to be, at least the ones I've handled, which is like 3, really well made. So they should just ditch the homage knives and just stick with their own in-house designs, in my humble opinion. John says, "Throw a cold steel Recon and an 80-20 in a drawer and see which one comes out alive." Yes. I would say, the Recon. Something, it's a little bit more slender. It would be a little more. It would move a little better in a drawer, but that's just me. Craig Vincent says, "Jerry C. Effin Grow makes some banger budget blades." Yeah. Alpha Kenny 1, nice to have you here, Alpha. What's your opinion on Work Tough gear knives? My Work Tough gear, my work knife is an 80-10, he says. So I love Work Tough gear knives. I have one on the table tonight. I own 3. The one I have out is this, the Steadfast. This is a great knife. I do wish I held out for the Steadfast large with the 7-inch blade. This one is really nice, though. This has a 5.5-inch blade. It is a really, really nice knife, but I got to say, I burn with envy every time I see the larger one. It's got a slight recurve to the blade itself, as well as that sort of downward cant to the blade, but it has that long swedge. It's just beautiful and bigger than this, and that's the one thing. I do wish I held out for the long one, the bigger one. Maybe at some point I'll get that and sell this or something like that, or just have both, which is more likely. But Work Tough gear knives are awesome, and some of the sharpest out of the box knives, man. Oh man, they are so sharp and tough as hell. I have the V44X Bowie. I should probably pull it out. I just had it out this past weekend, was banging on it. Used it for batoning and for starting a fire. It's got a nice 90-degree spine. I mean, it took, I was using I was using dryer lint and fat wood, so it took like really one just shower of sparks to get it going. But still, what a great knife that is. I love the V44X by Work Tough Gear and well regulated. So yeah, thumbs up for Work Tough Gear. Split and Slices says, Bob, acronyms are overrated. Only 3 are important. Fubar, Snafu, and Bohica. I know what Fubar is. I know what Snafu is. But what's Bohica? Spell that one out for me. Fubar is a winner. LOL, says Scott. Northern Knife says, I keep a SOG multi-tool in the glove box of my cars and a Swiss Army knife in a drawer underneath the cash register at the shop. That would probably be my version of a junk drawer knife. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Something that's always there. Probably not your most glamorous or sought after knife, but one that just Jim, thank you, sir. That's funny. Bohica. Start using that one. Bend over, here it comes again. That's good. I like that. All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Byron. Glad to know that. And knowing that now, I think it might just be time for a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
In my front right pocket, the Buck Range Elite. I've been digging this knife a lot. They sent this to me along with the mini version of this, which is like a 2.5-inch blade with super light GRN handles. And that my wife just snapped up. That's 154 cm. She saw it on my desk one day while walking through to do laundry, because laundry room is adjacent to this room. And she picked it up, and basically that was the last I saw of it. She loved how it's relatively small. Well, it is small, smaller than most of her knives. And you know how women like small knives because they love those tiny little pockets in their jeans. But also super light, and she's starting to like the lock. I showed her, about how you can flip it open and flip it shut, and she's not so much of a knife fidgeter, but she's starting to get it. Anyway, I've been loving this knife, and to be 100% honest, when I got it, I was like, this is cool. This is very nice. Like, feels super high quality. It's got MagnaCut Paul Boss heat treat, which I will just assume is awesome. I will probably not use it to the point where I will have much of a valuable opinion on the heat treat of this MagnaCut, but I like knowing that all of those factors. But I thought, yeah, it's nice. It's plain. It's good. It's nice. I've been putting this in my pocket so much lately, and I was home most of the day today, so I had this. I just grabbed it and threw it in my pocket, and did a couple of things with it, I guess. Oh yeah. I was going through during my lunch break, because I was teleworking. During my lunch break, we have a closet down here that desperately needed me to go through it, and I went through it and got rid of a lot of stuff. So there was a little bit of opening of boxes and such, and cutting stuff down. But this is a great knife. I've really, really dig it. I'm glad I have it, because honestly, it's not a knife I would go out and buy. Now I would, now that I know how awesome it is. But if they hadn't sent it to me, is what I'm trying to say, I wouldn't have been inspired to get it. I would have thought, oh, if I'm going to buy a Buck, I'm going to buy something old school. I love the old school Bucks, including the fixed blades. But I'm really impressed with this knife. Super thin, super light, anodized aluminum. Got that sort of ambidextrous bar lock there. Deep carry pocket clip that mounts on the butt, which is something I like a lot. Great pajama knife, great shorts knife, just great knife in general. So I'm really psyched about that knife. Second knife I had with me today. I didn't actually carry this, but I used it several times. And that is this old Imperial scout knife that my grandfather gave me, among a number of other scout knives. He used his knives a lot. This one has got the most complete main blade of any of the Scout knives he's given me. Like some of them are sharpened down to little nubs. This one has like some sort of fake plastic jigged bone here, which shrunk away from the bolsters. Plastics weren't what they are today. This one has, and this is the feature I used today, the bottle opener, nice bottle opener, screwdriver, double blades, and then that can opener in there, which I'm not going to open right now, but use that. That's a great knife, nice bail, the whole thing. I just love those old camp knives. I also had this on me today on my belt, running right up front. This is the JB Knife and Tool ditch pick, a very thin 1/16 of an inch thick blade, super springy, 1095 blade steel. They do a lot of testing with these, especially their ditch models, which are super thin. So they want to make sure, they meaning Brian, I know he's got a partner whose name I forget now, sorry. But just to make sure that these very thin knives are very robust and springy, they do a lot of testing with them, or at least they did when they were first making them real thin like this. This is just a great knife, Picard, but with a full forward edge sharpened. The original version of this had only the back edge sharp. I believe this was the first run they did with fully sharpened front, and I love it. This is a great knife. It's very comfortable. I have it set up to draw in reverse grip in case the world comes to an end when I'm wearing it. Next, I had this in my front pocket also, banging around up against the buck all day. This is the Skur Light. The Skur Light by Shed Knives. It's like a quarter. Let me see. I got a ruler. Yeah, it's a 1/4 inch thick little slab that I keep meaning to jute wrap here, but I just haven't yet. But this is a great handy little knife. Didn't use it for anything today, but it was that kind of day where this would come in handy. Just kind of milling around the house, doing stuff between emails and meetings and such. So this one, and then emotional support knife today. I had this. I mean, this I kept just fiddling around with. I am loving this Hogtooth Knives fighting Bowie. It's an homage I commissioned from Matt Chase of Hogtooth Knives of the Hells Bells style Bowie. You can see there are lots of differences, but you get the general spirit of the Hells Bells with the devil horn guard and the coffin Bowie. That's Gidgee wood, ringed Gidgee wood from Australia. W2 steel, I think. W2, does that sound right? With the hamon, beautiful. Love this thing. Luke 8:17 inscribed on it. The truth will always come out. That's my paraphrase. So you can't hide anything. So that's my Truth Warrior knife. So this is what I had on me today. Let me know what you had on you. I had the Buck Range Elite. I had this old Imperial Scout knife from who knows when, given to me by my grandpa. May he rest in peace. I had the Skur Light from Shed Knives, Jack Billings, proprietor. Very nice little knife. I love that thing. The JB Knife and Tool ditch pick, just a friendly, happy little fellow. And then my fighting Bowie. Bang. So what were you guys carrying? Let me know. I want to know. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. And then I'll show you what you stand to win as a Gentleman Junkie next month, this coming month. Yeah, next month. Greg Vincent says, don't forget about the fourth great acronym, AMF yo-yo. Okay, adios, MFer, yo-yo. Not sure what the yo-yo is, unless it's just, you're in Philly. AMF. Let's see. OG Blade Reviews says, was that the Grease Man? The Grease Man, you remember him? OG Blade Reviews says, today's carry, Work Sharp RMX Auto. That's a cool knife. I just saw your couple of posts today of that. So Work Sharp RMX Adios, my friend. You're on your own. Thank you, Jim. I'm like, okay, my friend. Okay, that's better than what I thought. You're on your own. Adios, my friend. You're on your own. AMF yo-yo. Okay, OG Blade Review says, today's carry, Work Sharp RMX Auto 3V, Kershaw Launch 22 in Magna Cut. That's a nice one. That's with that bayonet blade and the green handle. Gorgeous. Artisan Kami, very nice choice. Pinkerton design. Microtech Amphibian with Lex tie scales. Beautiful. TKL Ops Hawk Tonto. Very nice knife. Tepi Hornet 2. And the Next Torch TA70 flat tactical flashlight. Very nice. Very nice. He gave me a great flashlight that I love. The EDC 27. I love that thing. Jay Demeter says, I keep an AK-47 in my ashtray of my truck. That's a pretty big ashtray. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, he means a cold steel AK-47. That is a folder I've never gotten. Why? Handle to blade ratio always turned me off a little bit, but they're so cool. I should get one. Why should I deny myself these earthly pleasures? Scott says, hang on, I shot myself in the foot with LOL. Or for if your Japanese RAF outruled. Oh, God. Yes, Scott. Scott, we got laws against that in this country. Matt Maurer, you probably do in yours. Matt Maurer says, really like the Range series from Buck. Yes, it is awesome. It is great. I love it. I love that a classic brand like that, that's known for all the classic stuff, that's what I go to them for, can come out with something new that's pretty impressive. Lone Star says, because it's almost sunup, carry will be Cold Steel Black Talon 2. Lone Star over in Turkey, I believe, going to carry the one of the most wicked blades out there. Todd Carr says, evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Todd. Hope you're doing well. Todd, we're giving this away tonight. Hashtag knife in the comments will very likely, possibly, get you this knife. A great neck knife also comes with a belt carry. You can drop it in your pocket, whatever you want. But super utilitarian and super tactical. Northern Knife says, I have the same Buck Range on my desk right now, not technically in my pocket. Also carrying my three dog knife folder prototype. Yes. Strider SNG custom Cerakote. Very nice. Hinderer Project X. Always wanted that knife. I've always wanted that knife. And a tactile turn side click. That Project X, how is it? Do you like it? Did they just like stop making that, or was that just a lark? Always thought that was such a sweet knife. Split and Slice, it says, still a great old camper, that Imperial. Yes, sir. I love these kind of knives. I even bought a couple when I went through a little scout / camper knife phase. I got a couple of modern ones. One from Boker that's really nice, inexpensive but nice. And then a couple from Rough Rider, and the bottle openers don't work. It's like you gotta alter it to make it work. It's just, Matt Lamana, this carry is nice. An Aaron Bieber 302, love that knife. A Cold Steel American Lawman, a heavy set 4-inch Hunter. That's a nice. That's a cool. Well, first of all, he seems to be a really cool guy, but. Whoa, pardon me, guys. I've heard some pretty great things about his knives. And a Work Tough Gear Wilderness Warrior. Love that V44 X-Man. One day, yes. They're supposed to be coming out with another run of them sometime. But it's a hard production schedule to predict. They're a small shop, so that Hogtooth Bowie is just beautiful. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. But then again, I didn't make it. I don't know if I have the right to say thank you, but I will anyway. Thanks for mentioning it. I'm really in love with it. Strings, how you doing, Strings? What's up, Bob, Jim, and all you junkies? Speaking of beautiful Bowies, I got this in a trade with Strings. We've traded 2 knives so far. That's how I got my Desperado, the Cold Steel I always wanted, never got until Strings had one on offer, and we did a trade. But this the Arbolito Bowie is so cool. Todd Carr says, big, beautiful Bowie. And he was talking about the hog tooth, I think, when he wrote that. Swim by, please, says Angry Tom's Hat Next Door. All right, a swim by first with the sheath. Matt Chase does incredible leather work, which, he just plays off as, of course. But he does really beautiful. He could just make sheaths for people. And then here's the knife. A sharp swedge, Spanish notch with appropriately lengthed, what do you call it? Quillion here, so that it creates a lever there if you're lucky enough to catch a blade in there. And then that beautiful coffin handle Bowie moves really nice in the hand. Just when I'm swinging it around and not hitting anything, just fighting the air. Second that swim by. Oh, and I think I mentioned this before, probably every time I show this off, but he turned this on a lathe, made his own belt stud, and it's got brass in the middle. This thing is so cool. Or is that copper? I can't remember if that's copper or brass, but Hogtooth Knives, he doesn't just make expensive custom knives. He also makes, everyday carry kind of knives made in 154 cm, and they're less expensive because he has them cut out with laser or with a water jet, and it's all stock removal. But his forging work is beautiful. Split and Slices says today's carry was the Tempest Fractus. I don't know what that one is. I do know Tempest knives, but I don't know the Fractus. The Rough Rider Longfellow, the Granddaddy Barlow. Oh, I'm sorry, Rough Rider Longfellow Granddaddy Barlow, and the Knife Junkie Hogtooth Knives Nova 1. See, that's exactly what I was just talking about. The Nova 1. The Tempest. Speaking of Tempest. If you're in the Virginia area in November, KC is having a knife get-together for Virginia folks. So he's pretty far away from me in Virginia, but he invited me. I'd love to go. I think that'd be really, really fun. So hopefully that comes to pass. Chase Kimball says, Matt Chase is next level. Such a beautiful knife. Yeah, he is. He's a great guy, too. And he served the country for what, 30 years, I think? No, he's been making knives for 30 years, and he was a Marine Corps scout sniper, which is a thing of the past now. They've removed, they don't do scout snipers anymore. Now they just have, platoon sharpshooters or something like that. But he was one of a couple of scout snipers I know from back in the day, and they are a proud bunch. And they don't talk about what they do, which is unlike the Navy SEALs. They all write books and stuff. Not they all write books, and I'm not throwing any shade on Navy SEAls, but it's a different sort of thing. Like this other scout sniper I know, I drunkenly once said, if you ever want to share war stories with me, I'd love to hear them, and I'll keep them mum and everything. And he was basically like, we don't talk about what we did. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Adrian Fighter 35 says today's carry was the Cold Steel Large Espada, excellent, in G10 for a work knife, nice, and the Black Talon 2 serrated for my ESK. Very nice combo. Thought I pulled out my, I pulled out my XL with the G10. Love this knife. Like a full-on short sword there. String says, in the pocket, my new Concept Bison. Yes, love that knife. Victorinox Locksmith and the Queen number 3L in Stag. I don't know the Locksmith. That sounds cool, though. Victorinox Locksmith. Mike had his Cold Steel Code 4 Tonto. Very nice. I used to have the drop point. I got rid of that. I kind of wish I didn't, of course. But I would like to now get, I like the Bigfoot. Woodsman. How you doing, Woodsman? Good to have you here. I'd love to get the Code 4 clip point. I think that's got a very nice looking clip point blade. Woodsman says, today's carry, the Scallywag MDV folder. I think I know which one that is. They have some cool knives. That's the one that has that handle that sort of has a real pronounced bird's beak pommel. Is that right? And sort of a recurved Tonto or something like that. KR Knife Reviews. Good to have you here, KR. He says QSP Penguin button lock. Very nice. So the QSP that the Penguin that I have is the original with the denim micarta, and that thing is buttery smooth. It's all on washers, and it's just a liner lock. But what a great knife that is. The Maroni. Nice to have you here, Maroni. He says today's carry, the Kaiser Banish XL in Rex 45. I love Rex 45. I know that from the Mystic. The Kaiser Phasmids Fixie, the AEBL and chocolate scales, the Trivisa Dragonfly in Ultim. Very nice carry. You've got all your bases covered there. A large folder. You've got a fixie, and then I don't know what the Dragonfly is actually, if that's a small one. But anyway, nice carry there. Todd Cart was carrying the Leatherman Surge and accessories, the SOG Power Pint, the Swiss Army Knife Field Master, the Cold Steel 8010, pardon me, the Tucson TS16 in M390, the Kaiser Mini Begleiter in 20 CV, fifth pocket knife, the Steingraber Performance Knives Sasquatch in Rex 121. Man, that guy knows how to make knives and how to heat treat and how to grind, and he's a cool guy. Olight i3T and the Arkfeld UV with a Forest Hank. Very nice carry here. That Tucson, I'm not familiar with the Tucson TS16, but I'm sure it's cool. I really like Tucson knives. Victor Blades. Today's carry wasn't McNeese Dixon clipped to. Wait. Today's carry wasn't McNeese Dixon clipped to my right pocket, and in the leather slip, it was. I think you meant was, and in my left pocket, my old timer ADT Stockman. Ooh, very nice. I love the Stockman classic 3-bladed knife, but I know you've been really into that McNeese lately. That's been your favorite, I think. String says, favorite desk knife would be my custom Chuck Hawes Warncliffe Whittler with Damascus and Mammoth Ivory. Ooh, that sounds nice. I am a sucker for ivory and natural materials. I've seen walrus tusk. It looks so cool. I just busted this out tonight just because I had the Three Dog knife on my belt, and I got something new to show right here. And I'll show you the Gentleman Junkie knife in a second. But I pulled out this Bark River Knives Warncliffe. It's just I can't remember what they call this, Woodland Warncliffe or something like that. It came in a number of different sizes. This one is perfect. And I made a great little sheath for it because I used to sort of EDC it. I haven't in a long time. And now I have it back in its original leather sheath. So that just reminded me. Jim, what did I just miss? Jacob Green, nice to have you here, Jacob. My carry today was a Griptilian, Wave Plus, and a K-bar slip joint folding hunter. Oh, those are nice with the two blades, right? Two 4-inch blades, Delrin handle, and 50 years of style, class, and epicness that puts modern knives to shame. Well said, sir. Well said. So check these out here. Craig Vincent says Cold Steel 3V 8010 XL Voyager Chris. Very nice. The M4 Swift 3, something I've been thinking about. The Frenzy 3.5 3V, also something I've been thinking about. The Bush Ranger, the SR1 Light Tonto, the Carve 20 CV, that's a nice looking one. Spectre Hawkbill. And then he takes a turn towards Spyderco with the Manix 2XL and the Edgy American Crewwear Thug. Very nice selection. Cold Steel Heavy, which I appreciate. All right, after this, I just got to show you these two knives, and then we're going to get to the giveaway. This, I just interviewed LT Wright this week. He's going to be up on the podcast on Sunday. And one of you great folks, actually, Ketmuk Neshart, who hasn't been around in a while, a long time ago, loaned me an LT Wright large Northern Hunter, and I loved it. And then after my interview with LT, who's a great guy, great interview, I went right on the same night and bought this a small one. And this is a great knife. I love it. I haven't done anything with it yet except carry it around. But it's sharp as hell, and so is the spine. So it's going to throw sparks like mad. I put this Civivi fob on it. I'll probably put something else on eventually, like a leather one, just to help pull it from the sheath, because it's sort of, it tapers and is bullet shaped at the pommel. So this, while it's still breaking in, makes it easier to draw. What a great sheath too. I'm just really impressed. I really enjoyed talking with him. He's a cool dude. Great story. He makes awesome knives. And so I had to get that from him. I love the look of that knife, and it feels so good in hand. And I just think it'd be a great knife to have on the belt all the time. But he sent a knife to give away to a gentleman junkie. And so he sent this, and I did not do that. It came like that. Little something on that leather sheath. But this is his most popular knife right now, and it's awesome. It's a little dreamy little knife. This one is called the, what is this called? Frontier Valley. This is the Frontier Valley. Really cool little knife. And this will be the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway knife for the month of October 16th. Really nice. Now he oiled up the blade. So not the blade, the handle here. And then when I put it in the leather sheath, it sort of rubbed it off. Same here. So, you know, it'll eventually, I'm not going to re-oil it, but it will eventually take on that darker color once you carry it, once you hold it and use it. Great little knife, great sheath, full flat ground on this, 90-degree spine, like almost more than 90 degrees. It's so sharp because of that full flat grind. You get the real feeling of that spine being super sharp for throwing sparks. Great little EDC user knife. It comes, I don't have it here. I love the way it came. It came wrapped up. The knife had one of those little sleeves, cardboard sleeves on it. And it was wrapped up in this sort of paper, that kind of a waxy paper, I guess. And then the sheath was wrapped up in another piece of paper. Just, I like the presentation. So this one could be yours if you're a gentleman junkie. If not, consider joining. 2 ways to do that. Just go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon. We're about to change that to TheKnifeJunkie.com/support, because now you can become a gentleman junkie right here on YouTube as well. But this little beauty could be yours next month if you join. If you don't, and you're already joined, it could also be yours. But I'm loving this. And let me just tell you a quick story. Well, I won't tell you, because then it won't be a surprise. But the shed, I got the lowdown on the shed logo. It's very cool. I really like the story behind it. And I really like this knife a lot. Okay. Robert Strevin, nice to have you here, Robert. He says, good Thursday night, evening, Bob, Jim, and all you junkies out there. Well, good evening to you, Robert. Hope you're doing well. Lone Star Dowboy says, junk knife in the drawer is the Civivi Vaquita 2. I don't know that one. Sounds delicious somehow. A useless novelty 3.4-inch. Oh, yeah, kukri. You cannot fake the funk with this one. That's a little neck knife, right? I think so. It's very pretty little knife, if I'm thinking of the right one. Todd Carr says, usually keep a slip joint on my desk. Currently, the Rosecraft Beaver Creek Barlow. That's the one that Scab over at Choir Boys Outdoor has been testing every day until it falls apart, basically. Junk drawer gets the utility blades with the snap-off blades or lock-back utility knives. Very nice. But yeah, lots of slip joints on the desk. The Beaver Creek, that seems to be a nice one. Strings, I love a good sheath with a belt stud. Beautiful knife, he says. Well, thank you, man. I couldn't agree with you more. Steve says, I keep my Cold Steel expandable baton in my glove box, just in case there's a random pickup game of wiffle ball. Yes, sir. I like how you think. Yeah. How is that? Is it because I saw it when you got it, but we haven't talked about it since. So hope it's good. Hope it's good because it's very reasonably priced. Sometimes like Asp brand expandable batons, I think they just enjoy, like Benchmade, they enjoy the love of military and law enforcement. But in my experience with Asp, I don't know if they're definitely like that much better than other brands. So hopefully Cold Steel is awesome. They also do a short one, which is cool, like a 12-incher. Dion Page says, hello, Bob, Jim, and all you junkies. I made it. Dion, it's good to have you here, man. As always. Doug says, Bob, I really like the ShivWorks Disciple. My only complaint is the trainer doesn't have a metal insert as advertised, but a whole trainer is very, oh, interesting. But the whole trainer is very flexible plastic. Now, I just discovered I've been hitting my Bob dummy with the Laredo Bowie plastic trainer from Cold Steel, and that's fun. The kind of flexible plastic trainers are good when you're training with someone. You don't want to actually hurt them. But when you're hitting a solid object like the Bob dummy or a punching bag or something, I don't like that. I would rather have something stiff to hit with. Code 4 Clip Point says Craig Vincent, $60 on Midway USA. Midway, man. They always have the Cold Steel deals. And why are you doing that, Craig? I don't need it. Or do I? That's the question. All right. How many people do we have with hashtag knife in the comments? I want to give this sucker away. Robert says, my junk drawer is a good old, but still in great shape, buck 10 folding knife. Buck 110, I'm taking it. And yeah, I think that's a lot of people's go-to either junk drawer knife or toolbox knife or tackle box knife. Yes, sir. So we're gonna do this in a few minutes. We're gonna let people catch up with the hashtag knife. In the meantime, I'm gonna show off some cool stuff, and we're gonna get to your comments in a minute. But as I mentioned, this will be out November 1st. The new TKL Knives Agent 001 with the Battle Lock grips, or you can get it with any grip you want. They have about 30 different varieties of G10 and micarta. I'm really, really loving the Battle Lock. So sweet. And then this clip, this new Ulti clip, I thought, I don't know, man, it's sort of like that buck. I was like, yeah, okay, that exists. But once I got it and got it on the 001, especially because I love carrying this horizontally, it is a game changer. I absolutely love this wire clip from UltiClip, co-designed by Tim of TKL Knives, and it really, really keeps this thing super close to the belt and to the body. You know what I mean? And more so than, I guess I don't have another one here, but it's sort of similar to the feel of a loop clip, but more sure. The loop clip, these soft loops tend to, unless it's super tight around the belt, they'll move around a little bit. This thing stays super secure. Strings, I always wanted a Cold Steel 4-Max with a clip point blade. Cold Steel 4-Max with a clip point blade. That would be cool. The Bison isn't as beefy, but the blade is exactly the same length and the belly as the 4-Max. I'm loving the clip point blade. It is a beauty. That whole knife is beautiful. The handle, it's a Ray Laconico design, but it doesn't really smack as a Ray Laconico design. Mike says, Bob, what's your favorite folder as of late? As of late, it's this. Hands down. I love this. This is the Aurelia by Manganas Steel. So this is a Sharif Manganas design, beautifully done by Riot Knives. So this is just, to use a cliche, firing on all cylinders. I guess it's like a perfect design. It's got a great blade length. I think it's like 3.6 inches, something like that. Yeah, it's like 3.7 inches. So perfect blade length. It's Magna Cut steel. It's really perfectly contoured handle scales. Great looking Terzuola-esque clip there. Everything about this knife is just smooth, buttery, awesome. It's even a great front flipper, which I'm not a great front flipper, but perfect for that forefinger. You've got awesome jimping, great thumb studs. Everything about this knife I love. So this was the knife I was going to buy at Blade Show. I went to Blade Show knowing that I was going to buy a bunch of fixed blade knives, but I wanted to get one fancy sort of frame lock folder, and this was what I had my heart set on. I went over to Sharif's table. We were chit-chatting. I asked if I do this a lot at Blade Show, as you know, if you watch the Blade Show podcast. I interviewed him, and then afterward, I asked him, okay, you have any Aurelias left? Bust it out, because this was Saturday morning, and he said he had a few left, and then he refused to take payment for it, which I'm so grateful for. I mean, this is not an inexpensive knife, and he gave it to me, and I was touched and honored, and this is a great knife. It is an absolutely great knife. So, Mike, that's the long answer. But that said, I also am just always constantly carrying around big cold steels too. I mean, I'm always going to the cold steel drawer for one of these XLs. They thrill me. They never will stop. With the fancy frame locks, I love them all. All the ones that I've kept, I love them. But they come and go in terms of what's top of mind for me. But I got to say, the XL cold steels are just a constant. So, one very obtainable and the other not so much. Victor Blade says, "Hey Bob, you asked about the Tempest Fractus. In my estimation, it is KC's best design. Beautiful drop point mill, milled titanium and carbon fiber scales, super smooth action. He hit a home run with that one. Is that also a Kubi? Does he have Kubi make that?" I have two of his designs, two of his earlier ones, and they're really nice. They're really nice knives, and he's a great dude too. Sword XXXY, and great dude. I gotta say, it almost makes a knife more enjoyable. Like if you know someone awesome is responsible for bringing it to you. Today's carry was a Bastinelli Foreigner in the right front pocket and a Le Griff in the left. Okay, I know the Le Griff, the Fred Perrin design, and I think Emerson made a version of the Le Griff, but what's the Bastinelli Foreigner? No, wait, what is the Foreigner? I don't think I know which one that is, but I love Bastinelli, so I know I love the Foreigner. But just tell me what it is. Describe it if you would, and put Foreigner in your description so I'm not like, oh, what's he talking about? All right, let's give this knife away. Todd Carr says, Tucson TS16 and M390 had a blade the same as the 940 Osborne, but a titanium frame lock. Got it many years ago before the prices went up on them. Okay. All right. So a sort of a clip drop, a 940 style knife. All right. So we are giving this away. I can't believe time has flown this evening. Let's give this away. Let me just put this down here. Comes with a great length of paracord and one of these toggle things. Very handy. But here's the Karaman. Could be yours. Let's see. All right. Let's pull up the random number generator. We shuffled the names. We always pre-shuffle the names. And let's go in 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now it always does a little tease thing and stops and then just gets over the hump and Joseph S is the winner. Joseph S. Congratulations, sir. Hopefully this takes some of the sting out of having your desk removed, your man cave desk removed from your garage. Sorry to hear about that, but very happy to be giving you this. So please, right now, before hopefully you're still here, just put your address in an email to me. Send it to TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, and I will get this in the mail to you post haste, most likely tomorrow. I'll send you the tracking number and put a little swag pack in there. So Joseph S., congratulations. String says, I've never seen a Bark River Warncliffe. That's sweet. Hey, you know what you should do, Strings, is go to, who is it? One of their dealers. I think it's Knives Ship Free. Basically, you can see every model that Bark River Knives has ever released. You can't order them, but they made this a smaller version and I think 2 larger versions. But this one is perfect at 3 3¾ inches. Jason Small, I made it. Good to have you here, Jason. What were you carrying? Let us know. Sharp Pete, good to have you here, Sharp Pete. Hi, Bob. Carried the Griffin X series bolster lock. Oh, Griffin knives. Cool knives, man. I have not held one yet. And the Tactile Red Hawk and the Streamlight Wedge XT. That Red Hawk is sweet. Everything I like everything from Tactile. Good, great knives there. But those Griffin knives, I just started following them on Instagram, and I've watched probably every video that Stasso has put out on them, and they are cool. I know he's a huge fan of the Griffin knives, but in just starting to follow them on Instagram, I've seen like all their models so far, and there's some really cool ones. Dion Page says, heading to Snoozeville. I hear you. Have good dreams, man. The bathroom remodel will be finished this week, one way or another. Good night, all. Have knife dreams. Dion, thank you for coming, man. Have a wonderful weekend. Say hello to your better half, and have a wonderful weekend. Jason Small says, sure, Bob. Yeah, let me know about what you were carrying. Seth Lang, nice to have you here, Seth. Bob, Jim and Junkies everywhere. Good evening. Good evening to you, Seth. Hope the world's treating you well. Jason said, oh, yeah, baby. T-Kel Agent 006. That's not out yet. It's not out yet. I think you either have your numbers confused, because I think someone here in the chat, I will not disclose who, I think that person is going, that person's design is going to be the 06. I think that's public information anyway. Now I'm curious. What do you describe the blade so I know what you're talking about? Orbital Knives. Man, your knives are cool too. I think I just started following you on Instagram, or I did right before I got kicked off and reestablished, and now I have to find you again. I can't remember. But Orbital Knives, very nice to have you here. Hello, hello, he says. Hello to you, and nice work. Jerry C says, I'll add, we're lucky and live in great times as knife geeks. That's for damn sure. With improved technology and materials compared to 30 or 40 years ago, when budget knives are so much better for what they are and what they can do. Yeah, no kidding. And, you know, we have, oh, by the way, this is, look at that gorgeous handle to the Bark River. Nicely swelled for the hand. But yeah, we live in great times, and we have all these knives coming from foreign places that once were junk and are now incredible. Jock's Knife, nice to have you here, Jock. Long time friend of the show and gentleman junkie. It's good to have you here, man. Good evening, good morning, Jim and Junkies. Hope you and your dogs are doing great, man. Sean Clark says, hit that thumbs up, people. Couldn't agree more, Sean. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Not a Kubi. The OEM is Concept. Ooh, sweet. I got to say, I love Concept. They do such great work. And I'm not saying Kubi doesn't, but if I had my druthers, it would be Concept as well. Mike says, me too, Bob. I will always love Cold Steel, especially the XL versions. Great minds think alike. Yes, indeed, sir. Yes, indeed. Well, I think I showed all the XLs I have out tonight. I have this one. Gets very little play here, but I love this knife. This was a housewarming gift from my brother years ago when we moved into this house. So nice. The Raja 2. Put this down. Sword XXXY says, Foreigner is a Sachs style blade with an arched handle. Okay. That's what I was starting to think. I think it's about a 5-inch blade. You know what it looks like? It looks like a fixed bladed version of the Dragotac, kind of. Robert Strevin says, got a question for you, Bob. A slingshot in a bug out bag? Yes or maybe? Yes, no, or maybe. I have one in my bug out bag. Now, does that mean that? So to me, I would say yes, because you got ammo all around, though, the little steel shots that you get that are perfectly round are probably the best, but you can just pick up any rock and wing it. So I say, yeah. Yep. And they're relatively good to get, relatively easy to get accurate with. I used to have wrist rockets growing up. Remember those that have the thing that go against your forearm? Joseph S. says, cool, thanks. My pleasure, man. Just make sure that you send your address, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. Jammin Parker says, carried the TKL 003, the Tour Knives Jank Shank Warney. That's a cool knife. And a Leatherman Skeletool. Plus, a Work Tough Gear Atayal in the truck. Atayal? Is that how you pronounce that? I always think of Adel when I see that, the spear launching technology from the Stone Age. Jason Small says, Bob, back left pocket, Savivi Sokun. Love it. Love it. Front right pocket, Copus Elvia. Very nice. I love the Copus Designs Elvia. I love it so much. I had mine Sukamaki wrapped. String says, I agree. Growing up, a budget knife was a Pakistan paperweight. Yep. Now budget knives are superb. I got to say, and I'm not casting aspersions on Pakistan itself, but I hate their knives, and they all have a smell. I can smell a Pakistan knife from a mile away. I don't know if it's the cheap steel that I've always experienced on Pakistan knives. Not that they're all cheap, or if it's the brass. There's always a lot of brass on them. Jason Small, no, Bob, the Agent 006. I got Tim to talk about it. I'm starting a 006 Storm, baby. Get on board or out the way. Just kidding, Bob. Let's do this. TKL forever. Oh, man. I mean, you're preaching to the choir, my man. I cannot. Yeah, that was the gaping hole. I cannot. I need to get a 7. I still haven't gotten a 7. I'd love to get the one wrapped by Auxiliary Manufacturing. And then I need a 5 and a 4, and then a 6 when it comes out. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Hero Sticks, nice to have you here, Hero. Evening and cheers all. Turned 50 today. Congratulations. All right. We're gonna salute you, sir. Congratulations. Life is better after 50, baby. You start saying baby. You start calling other men baby. Grateful to finish a fantastic birthday with Thursday Night Knives. My gosh, man. The honor is all mine. I'm gonna honor you and salute you with the Cinque Dia, an Italian sidearm from the 15th century. Here's to you, man. Happy birthday, and may you have 50 more healthy, happy years. There's your swim by. Look at that beauty. This thing is built like the proverbial tank as well. It's not just a wall hanger. You could definitely win a back alley street duel in Florence with this. It's such a gorgeous knife. Man, Hero, 50 is awesome, and I'm honored you would spend any time here on your 50th birthday. So happy birthday to you, sir. May you have many, many happy returns. Joseph S. says, LOL, I had just walked out of the room and ran back in. That's cool. Nicely done. It's good timing. Victor Blade says, good night, friends. Have a nice weekend. Victor, thank you so much, Paisan. I love having you here. And, well, thank you so much. Have a great weekend yourself. James Hart says, some slingshots can also fire arrows. Oh, cool. Or crossbow bolts. So, yes, get a good quality slingshot, ammo, and practice. Yeah. And that's like something you can practice in your backyard, unlike many of us with like I could shoot arrows in my backyard, but I can't shoot guns in my backyard. Slingshot, easy. I mean, I take the slingshot to the park with me. I used to go a lot with my girls when they were little. Just walk near the river and just shoot my slingshot. Anyway, Doug Bull says, Bob, I carried a 26-inch asp on the police department, but not very durable. Okay, I did locate another brand, ESP made in Czech Republic. It is stronger, more durable than asp, carried by PDs in different countries. Ooh, okay. That's funny because my dad got an asp, and that was my first thought. I was like, oh, this is not really measurably better than the cheap Mall Ninja version I have from a mall store. James Hart, 50 years old. It's all downhill now. No. The wiseness, the wisdom, James, the wisdom. Jason Small says, Bob, say hi to my wife, Paige. She's right here. Paige, I hope you're having an awesome evening. And obviously, if you're here, you're supportive of Jason's habit. I mean, his collecting, his whatever it is for him, the knives. So a supportive wife on the knife side of things is awesome. Do you carry a knife? If not, you should. And if you do, let me know what you carry. And you have problems with the tiny pockets that my wife has problems with. John Schaaf says, slingshots are not always a good idea. I personally own a bone collector complete with a laser sight and flashlight for when those pesky coons get in the cans. How does a laser sight on a, is a bone collector a slingshot? And if so, how does a laser sight help on a slingshot? I could see how a flashlight could, but yeah, raccoons, man. So I got a raccoon stuck in the summer in one of my trash cans. When it came out, it was like drunk as a skunk. Jason Small says, found a place to get Randall-made knives from Randall, same price, but in 14 months, not 7 years. That's pretty awesome. You should check Knife Center every once in a while. That's where I got both of my Randall-made knives was Knife Center. They'll get small shipments, and if you got the money, they'll cough them up immediately. String says, I like the Bison so much, I'm wondering about other concept knives. Any other concept recommendations? I'm sure there are plenty out there. What are the others? I think I have a couple of others, but now I'm blanking on them. So people put concept knives suggestions in the chat, but also especially the larger ones like the Bison. That's a biggie. James Hart says, well, I've been on the downhill side of 50 for 63 years now. What? You mean 13 years? The downhill, because I can't imagine you're 113 years old. Yeah, but I'm looking at pictures of you, and you're on your bike. I think you're fit as a fiddle. You're riding in these parades. You're swinging around swords. Jason Small says, "Thank you." She doesn't get her, Bob. Yeah, well, you got to get one for her, Jason. She will fall in love with it, especially if you give it to her. Hey, honey. Maybe you want to get her something else at the same time, so it's not just like a gift to yourself, like my wife used to think. But we met. Oh, laser pointer. I got you. 13, not 63 years, 13 years. Yes. So just to finish that thought, James, stay there. But Jason, definitely get her something that she can drop in her bag or in her tiny little pockets. Maybe a fixed blade, maybe something like this, just in case. Something small, light, nasty, but also useful if she needs it for something else. Clinton knives for the Randalls. Oh, Clinton knives. Okay, I'll check that out. Clinton knives. Did not have relations with that Randall-made knife. Right, stuck. I'm going to write that down. Robert Strebin says, thanks, guys. I will get a good quality slingshot to put in my bug out bag. Yes, sir. Jim, could you bring up James Hart's last comment? And I'm writing this down. Clinton knives. I've never heard of them. I got to check them out. Jason Small, Clinton knives for Randalls. Gotcha. Oh, Oh, that's the number 14 attack. I love that knife. Oh, that's sweet too. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. I see. They do a lot and they're used. Nice. You can get them used. That's which one is that? Is that the space knife? They made one for space, which is kind of cool. And you get Randall books and everything. Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for pulling that up. I will definitely be checking out Clinton Knives. It's great. It's just what I need. I need to spend more Randall style money. Hero Sticks. Did anyone pull the trigger on Tri-State EDC Tri-Stash version 2? I think someone did, called it the Piss Stash because it was in Ultim. And I think that's that second iteration of it. Very nice looking knife. I like them both. I think they both look cool. I can't say that I would be able to tell the difference. I think there are some subtle differences, right? I don't think he's like changed the profile that much. Hero Sticks. I'm thinking about the Concept Tipper and the Nahal. I don't know those, but I have spent a good amount of time at their booth at Blade Show and picked up pretty much everything. String says the Leviathan is a 4-inch half hawk folder from Concept. Oh, that sounds cool. Leviathan. Oh, here, this one. This is a cool one. This was a giveaway knife, and Mark T never sent me his address or claimed it, and I'm not even sure if he's been back, but he won this a couple of weeks ago. This is a cool one, albeit a small one. Check this out. This is designed by Coke Tools. Also sent to us from Dave of OG Blade Reviews. This one is a super hawk bill, and it's got those double fullers, which look cool and also function great for middle finger flippage or even slow rolling with the thumb. But that sort of recurve, reverse, tanto, hawkbill, whatever, is compound ground, so a little thicker towards the back. I don't know if it's meaningful thickness, but a little thicker in the back, a little finer in the front. Look at the cross section; is so cool on this blade. So if Mark T doesn't get in touch with us soon here, we'll give this one away also. But this is another cool Concept knife and also very well made. I just think Concept does great stuff. They are alum. The guys who started Concept are alum of Kaiser knives, so they know what they're doing, and they do it well. Cool knife. Jerry C says, "Hey, things are starting to get good at 50 plus years old. More wisdom, life experience, knowledge, MILFs, and Knife Junkie Cold Steel Love Train, baby." I love it. Hell yeah, we're just getting started. That's right. That's right. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny. I see pictures of my grandfathers. May they both rest in peace. When they were my age, they looked way more mature. I got to say, they looked older. I'm sure. I know for 1,000% fact that because of their harder lives, I had a much easier life, and that's probably part of it. I also didn't smoke, though. They were smokers when they were much younger men, but back in the day, people looked older. They smoked, they drank more. I think life was harder, so they aged quicker. I think that's what I think. Jock's Knife says, highly recommend Wasp slingshots. UK based but cheap, solid, and parts are easy to come by. That's cool. And then you can get extra bands, whatever they call those. Keep those on hand in case one breaks, and then you're good to go. Sean Clark says, Nordic Knives, 12 months for Randalls, and sometimes they have some in stock. Nordic Knives. Sweet. So are we all, not all, but I mean, a lot of us have Randalls. They're so great. I love them. Jason Small says, absolutely love a hawkbill. Yeah, very useful and very, very useful for pretty much everything, almost everything. Maybe not like is useful for like cutting cucumbers or something. Jason Small says, check out Scallywag Knives. I really like the Kairos. I'm not sure which one that is, but I love their big combat knife that came out with a couple of years ago, the big Tonto. Craig Vincent, and that aluminum GTFO knife I like a lot. Craig Vincent says, slingshots are cool, but I'm fixing to get a cold steel blowgun. I had one years ago. The accuracy is so good, I was able to pin spiders to the wall from across the room. How cool! Yes, I should get a cold steel blowgun. Yeah, right, because I mean, you're aiming right down the center of your face. I mean, yeah, I could see how it would be easy to shoot one of those. I would like to get one of those small reverse crossbows. And I think Cold Steel made one for a while, but I'd love to get something like that. Small, compact crossbow. Seth Lang says, I have the concept Lucky Star titanium with a front flipping S35VN Tonto-ish kind of sleek modern folder from designer Max Chichuk, who did a lot with Tucson, right? Fidget friendly and classic. Good night, friends. Seth, have a wonderful evening and have a great weekend. Hope everything goes well for you this weekend, man. Thanks for joining us, as always. Terminator Joe says, is the Cinque Dia zombie apocalypse certified? Because it is to me. Hell yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. And this one has a nice belt stud, too. You just slip this in the belt while you go out to check the mail, just in case any zombies are, well, I mean, I guess in a zombie apocalypse, there's no mail, but this would be just a great sidearm in such a case. Hang on, while I have it out, let me measure it. Yep, it's about 13 and a half inches in blade length, so nearing short sword. String says, hey, Bob, do you know what the Gunfighter Customs Gunfighter price range? I think it's, well, Michael Elliott is in the designer was in the chat. Not sure if he's still here. I think it's in like the, I don't want to speak out of school. I think it's like in the 225 range, something like that. Handmade, beautiful, beautiful knife. And there are some other really cool designs. There's another Pikal that I'm fixing to get that's got a really cool handle and a really cool Pikal style blade. So, but I think it's in like that 225, 250 range. Lone Star Dowboy says, I put a scope on my blowgun for extended reach. Nice. Nice. Tactical blowgun. Jason Small says, did you put a Picatinny rail on top? Jason Small says, got the felony stop in the mail today. What a great knife. With my California Cobra and Tour Mullet Tonto, it was a good day. Whoa, you got all three of those at once. That is awesome. The Mullet is a cool knife. The California Cobra is super cool. But my favorite of all of those is the felony stop. I'm a huge fan of Lacey Zabo. Knife Nut 69. Good to have you here, sir. Good God, he says. Good to have you here with us, sir. John says, Tops USA makes a slingshot complete with leather holster and obligatory rescue whistle. Yeah, I got a bunch of those. Got one right here. I've heard that slingshot is pretty small, right? James Hart says, the mail will always get through. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Come rain, sleet, or snow, or rain, sleet, or snow, I guess. Let's see. Knife Nut says, nearing. You and I have different definitions of short sword. Yeah, I always loosely say 13 inches is getting into short sword territory. But really, these are kind of the short swords, the 30 inches, 29 inches. Split and Slices says, ooh, a cold steel blowgun and Project Runway. Oh, sorry. That was not supposed to be typed. Jeez. Byron, just taking it out of me tonight. Just, it's a make it work moment. And if anyone has ever watched Project Runway, you know what I'm saying. Jason Small says, I have it, and you're all pretending you haven't watched it. Jason Small says, I have a super sweet fighting Pikal from Bulgaria being made right now. TDR knives, they rule. Todor is the best. I love the look of TDR knives. I haven't had any or experienced any in person. They have a trench dagger that looks really cool to me, right? That's TDR. Yeah. And they have a very famous small EDC dagger design that looks pretty sweet too. Doug Bull says, Bob, 30 years ago, I designed a self-defense type pugil stick. So that's like one of those pugil sticks. That's what you see Marines fighting with in boot camp, right? Is that right? 30 inches, 1.25 inch hickory staff and 3-inch hatchets. Oh shit! Driven in at each end. That sounds cool. Two-handed grip, similar to Irish fighting. Hatchets. So, question, Doug, what do you do to stop it from rolling? Do you have that hickory staff flattened or anything so you can so for edge awareness, edge alignment? Just curious, because if it's a stick and you got two hatchets, you're going to want to cut with the hatchet. I'm curious what you did for that. James Hart says, my cold steel Scottish dirk has a 13-inch blade. For me, a short sword starts at 18 inches long. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. You guys are right. 13 inches is still a big knife, but you know. Bless Knives. Good to have you here, Donnie. Good evening, knife junkies and all. If you guys don't know him, I'm sure you. Oh, sorry. If you guys don't know him, oh my gosh, him, Donnie Bless and his Bless Knives. You got to go check him out. Actually, I have to refollow you on Instagram since I'm reinstated. He makes really, really sweet, 100% handmade custom folders that are beautiful and really well made. I had 2 of them here that he loaned me for a while, and they are awesome. Knife Nut said, picked up my Biohazard Blades Pathogen V1 directly from the maker today. Oh, that's such a good feeling, man. Biohazard Blades. Dylan Mallory, nice to have you here, sir. Newman, well, I saw that it's raining outside, so I called in sick. I don't work in the rain. Yeah, exactly. We were talking about the postal service. That is funny. Jason Small says, I actually have a Pakal design being talked about with a pretty amazing maker who has been on your show. Oh, Jason, don't tease me. Who is it? Let me know. Sorry. All right. Drop something. I want to know. Thank you, sir, says Donnie. My pleasure. Thank you for what you do for the knife world with your gorgeous knives. Jason, who are you making this Pakal with? Let me know. Doug Bull says, I put in circular grooves with small rubber O-rings around the diameter. Okay, all right, that's cool. That'll work to give you lots of gription so it doesn't torque in your hand. Craig Vincent says, the average pocket carry of a cold steel fan easily qualifies them to be on the set of any 80s apocalyptic movie like Steel Dawn. Oh man, that movie, fromage. My wife and I tuned into that. Who was in that? Someone relatively famous was in that. That was on. We were like just zoning out in front of the TV and came across that. And this really, really like disgraceful sword fight with terribly designed swords. Like that was a pretty cheesy movie. Who was in that though? Help me remember. It was someone famous. Wait, was it like Patrick Swayze? Was he in that? Joseph S. says, I think you got your comments mixed up. It was Commander Bell who lost their junk test. Oh, okay. Commander Bell. That's right. Patrick Swayze. All right. Yeah. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. I mean, in my estimation. I like Patrick Swayze. I love the 80s. Lots of great movies from there. But as a Blade lover, and as someone who generally just likes good movies, that was an offense to the sensibilities. Probably shouldn't be finishing my coffee at almost midnight because I got to be up in 5 hours and 6 minutes. Up early, making lunch for the girls, getting ready for the day, Friday, getting ready to crush it. That's not what I'm like in the morning. Yep, be sure to join us on Become a Gentleman Junkie, whether on Patreon or here on YouTube. What you stand to gain is something special. Also, LT Wright, who gave us this knife that we will be giving away to a lucky gentleman junkie. He will be on Sunday. He is the Sunday interview. Such a great dude. He is, right? Yeah, coming up on Sunday. Just making sure. Sometimes we get more than one in the can, but we had to cancel one this week. So look at that thing. It is beautiful. You got your little shack there. On that side, A, I'm not sure what A stands for. Is this AEBL? It might be AEBL steel. Really, really nice. I don't wish it were mine, but I might have to get one. What I am extremely happy with, though, is this. This is so cool. This little, it looks like a little barong, doesn't it? And the large one is great, too. So they're sold out of the large ones, but when they're not, I might have to get one. Doug Bull says, gotta run. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Doug. Have an awesome weekend. Stay safe. Scott says, thanks, Jim and Bob. The swim by made my day. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Scott. You have a wonderful weekend as well. James Hart says, well, that's it for me. Take care. Stay sharp and rust-free. You too, James. I may have a new knife by next week. Still thinking about it. Let me just say, just do it. You'll be happy you did. Scott says, looking forward to the Bobby Raines Bowie swim by. Yeah, I'm not sure what R means, but it's going to be a while before I have one. But I can't wait to have a rainmaker to swim by you. A is for A2. Thank you, Ben. A is for A2. So L, what is L for? LT right, probably A2, says Knife Nut. Yes, just as was confirmed by Ben. But what about the L? Guys, let me know. It should be on the tip of my tongue. Sean Clark says, I'm going to join on the 1st. Awesome, man. Well, we look forward to having you with us. Split and Slice says, thanks, Bob. Jim and Junkies, bye all. Enjoy those blades. Oh, yes. Yes, we will. Have a great weekend, Byron. String says, good evening, good night, brother. I have a weekend full of gigs. Stay sharp. We'll have some awesome gigs with you and your wife. AEBL. Okay, that's what maybe that's not what I figured, but thank you. Oh, L, left-hand knife? Nah, I don't think so, because I ordered a right-hand sheath. Northern Knives, have a good night. Thank you. Have a great weekend, Mike. Thanks for another great Thursday Night Knives. It is my pleasure. My pleasure indeed. Well, I think that does it for me and Jim as well. So thank you guys for joining us. Always fun. I love Thursdays, especially for this gathering right here. All right, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, don't take dull for an answer.